Oh, I see that
You
we're
see it now?
live. I see the live button. Let me see.
You could be on to something here. I'll be like, oh my God. Hmm. Like I don't see anything on.
I don't see it either.
But it said live broadcast preview, and then they have it selected in broadcast.
And you're broadcasting on your page and not in the group.
Um, hmm, I thought I selected the group. Let me just make sure. Hmm. I don't see nothing on my page. Um, mm-mm. Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Well, it's got to be in the group then.
Well, unless it just doesn't show. I mean, I don't know how it would be, and then it wasn't, and there's nothing here. I don't even see an alert or anything. Or I
Let's
see
see
something
here.
attachment unavailable, but I don't know. That might have been something. Let's think that's something different. Hmm. Let me try one more time on this other one here. Oh, maybe this is it. Oh, I think this is it. But is
You
it on
found
the
it?
anybody? If anybody is watching, I'm so sorry. This is my first time using this program, and then I got somebody banging at my door. Maybe this is it. Oh, I think this is it. But is
You
it on
found
the?
it?
Okay, so it is on the business page.
Okay.
Well, well, well. I hope you guys don't hear an echo. I hear a huge echo, but I hope you can't. If it is an echo, just leave it in the comments, I guess. Oh gosh, I got somebody knocking at the door, trying to see if they had their key.
This is life, girl. We will wait.
Okay, hang on.
We will wait.
Here I come. Okay, I am back. I am back. No, I'm doing a live video, buddy. Let me finish up, okay? Okay, guys. So sorry for all the technical difficulties. I know we were originally supposed to start at 7 p.m. And yeah, so so my name is
Life.
Jacqueline Kaba, and I am a women's empowerment self-esteem coach for women of color. And welcome to our evening here. It is titled Soul Connections, Creating the Love and Romance You Desire. Now, let Miss Aja introduce herself.
Hello, beautiful wild sisters. I am Aja Van Sika of Aja and Van Sika and She Rewilding, which is a lifestyle brand geared towards women to help them realize what their soul inspired lifestyle really is and to help them go about living that soul inspired lifestyle. So, one of the things that is really entangled in that is soul connections. So, as Jackie and I are going to be talking today about these soul connections, it really does relate to what it is that you are inspired, how you're inspired to live. Would you agree with that, Jackie?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we thought this would be perfect because, of course, yesterday was Valentine's Day.
Uh-huh.
And we wanted to do something that everyone could relate to. You know, the way that I help people through my business is I talk a lot about self-esteem, self-improvement, self-development, self-care, right? And in order to be able to, you have to love yourself first in order to actually be able to bring love into your life and actually have a happy, successful, healthy relationship, you know. So this is going to be very informal, and this is driving me crazy. I have an echo.
I can't hear it.
Echo that's like, oh my God. So I'm trying to not let it bother me. So this is going to be very informal, and Aja and I just got just kind of talk back and forth and tell you a little bit about our experiences. And basically, we want you guys to chime in. Feel free to leave comments. I believe you can leave comments, but we would love to hear from you and know that you're there.
Awesome.
So, Aja, you go ahead and start off.
Well, I'm really excited that this is going to be really informal because I like to kind of relax and chat. I've got my tank top on. I had to put a sweater on. This is my clothing of choice, y'all. This is it. This is what I call dressed up, a tank top and a sweater and some heels, some boots instead of flip-flops if I'm dressed up. So today I have on my house shoes. So I'm loving that this is really informal. I want to be really comfortable. This is a subject that I think that a lot of women have quite often, especially when it comes to this time of the year, and whether you're booed up or not, then it's still an issue, to actually at this time of the year, everyone's celebrating Valentine's Day in some kind of form or fashion or talking about it. You see all the ads, whatever the case is. So what I think is really, really interesting is that you talk about how your self-esteem is really the most important thing, right? And I really believe that you can't have that. You can't figure out what your soul is inspiring you to do, connect to your soul, if you have not first gotten together with yourself and what it is that you are have within you, that self-confidence that you have within you. So I don't know who this is calling me, but but anyway, so I think that's really an important factor to consider when you're thinking about your soul connections. Is I always like to say that what I share is always the beginning. It's something to start, and then there's all kinds of things that you can add in after that. Just like when you think about a cake. Well, cakes, they're not just made of flour. They're all kind of ingredients. So here, this is just one thing. And so that's what I want to tell you all first before I dive into anything, that this is not the end all be all. I don't think that anybody out here has the end all be all, but they have sections and they have particles that you can add into, or structures that you can add into to make things the way that you're wanting them to be. So with that being said, thinking about where you are in your life with your self-esteem, I think that goes straight to what it is that you're wanting and you're desiring. Of course, you can't really get to what you're wanting and what you're desiring until you figure out who you are as a person and your self-esteem and all that. But the two kind of can lead to one or the other. If you're looking at what it is that you're wanting and you're desiring, then it can go over to, well, these are what my values are. These are what my beliefs are. So they do kind of bounce back and forth off of each other. But to figure out one, you're going to end up figuring out the other. So it's not really that important which one you start with, because they're going to lead to each other. But you got to get there. That's something that is like numero uno, if I can speak English. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning. The beginning of everything is where you are, the type of life that you want to lead. And I think all of that comes from your soul, which is tied into your self-esteem.
Right. And let me just say, guys, again, this is my first time using Be Live. And if you see me looking over to the right, it's just that I'm trying to see if there are comments registered that I don't actually see on my screen in front of me. Okay, so that's why. But what I'd like to say is that, and this is just speaking from personal experience, I know that there was a time where I didn't feel comfortable in myself, right? I didn't respect myself enough, or I didn't even have an idea of who I was, right? And I think that if you don't really know who you are, meaning that you don't know what type of relationship you're looking for, you don't know what you're looking for in a relationship, you just kind of get into a pattern of just accepting whatever is thrown in front of you, you know. And I think when we do that, we come in with kind of like a falsehood, right? Meaning that you're looking for a relationship or someone else to like fulfill you, you know, and you really don't even have an idea of who you are and what you want, and just having a clear picture of what a relationship means to you, what you hope to get out of it. And it's not all about what you're going to get out of it. It's reciprocal. You know,
why do you think that they don't have a clear picture?
Why do I think they don't have a clear picture of what they want?
Yeah.
Because I think it stems from you, right? I think it stems from not really having taken the time to stop to figure out who you are, even who you are as a person. You know.
And you know what I find to go hand in hand with that? The reason why they haven't taken that time is because we have so many influences telling us what things are supposed to look like. Our parents, our mothers, our pastors, our sisters, brothers, teachers, everybody. So how can we have had the time to take to even think about what the heck it is that we actually really want? It's crazy to me.
And I know for me, oh gosh, how can I say this? I've always been told that a man is supposed to come after a woman, right? A woman is not supposed to select a mate. Now, and I would love for you guys to jump in. I would love to know what you guys think about this. But that's what I meant when I mentioned earlier about just kind of grabbing at or accepting the first thing that's right in front of me. And what that meant was whoever had approached me, you know, my attitude towards dating was, okay, well, this guy, let's say these three guys are interested in me. And I just kind of picked the I don't know, just the best of that particular group that stated that they were interested in me. You know, so it wasn't even really a matter of me even bringing into play what sort of relationship would suit me, or what I was even looking for, or maybe what type of a male would compliment me.
Right.
You know, my personality and my goals, and actually kind of matching up, you know, with what's important to us, where we going in life, you know. And I think that as I got older, I began to take a more active role, in dating, you know, and I began to be a lot more selective. But again, like for me, I can't really tell you when it started specifically or the exact path, but I just know as I began to learn myself more and kind of shut out, like what you mentioned about that outside world, as far as you should be doing this. This is what you should be attracted to. This is how you should look for. This is what you should look for. And this is how your marriage should be.
Right, exactly.
You know, once I kind of disconnected from that, I was able to hear my own voice. I was able to hear my own voice in terms of, this is what's going to work for me.
Right. The same thing happened to me just recently, though, like over the last 7 months, has that whole mentality actually surfaced in me. And it's just like, well, and actually me and the guy that I'm seeing, he actually was just like, let's not talk to anybody about our relationships. Let's just keep it secret. Let's not tell anybody. And I cannot tell you how many things I found in myself that I'm actually loving without bringing anybody in. It's just like whatever it is. Actually, it has allowed things to flow a lot easier, to tell you the truth, because I'm not looking at what my relationship is supposed to be like. If we're happy, this is what a happy relationship looks like. I've actually, with keeping them out, is actually just allow things to flow into. We don't have to, not totally, but when I say flow, I mean we're on the same page and things don't need to be said. You know, this doesn't need to come about. And this doesn't, it's already, we already know, we're already doing this, we're already doing that. And it's not like, here's step 1, step 2, you should be here by now. You know, all of that. Things are just kind of flowing the way that it's making us feel good in a relationship. And it's just been amazing to actually be at this point, like you said, to cut all the noise out. And it's like, you know what? I don't need what it is that they're telling me that I need. I'm good with what I have, and I'm loving the way that things are flowing. It was freaking amazing, Jackie, to actually have that come about. I'm telling you, you just look at my face. I'm just like happy.
I like that. I like that. You know, it's like, well, a couple of things. Obviously, you have come into you and who you are, and what your needs are and what your desires are. Coupled with that, I have my 7-year-old is trying to bust in here. Coupled with
what kind of relationship advice he's got?
I know the way he busted in here, you would think he got some, right?
Y'all got it all wrong, let me tell you.
Yes. But so it's kind of like twofold, right? You know who you are and what you need. And the other piece is, I think sometimes we're so busy and people don't even realize that they're doing it, but they're imposing different values and beliefs that they have about how a relationship should flow, right? It could be something as simple as, I don't know, you watch a movie and the way these individuals in the movie met, or how they got into their relationship,
right?
Or different things that they're doing for one another. Then it's like, oh, well, he doesn't do that for me, you know. So if he doesn't do that for me, then that means he doesn't love me,
right?
You know, it could be something as simple as that, you know. But I think that goes into like those different defined gender roles, you know.
Yes.
Being a woman, I should cook, you know. I should make sure that my man is well taken care of. And, you know, I have to do this, I have to do that. And, you know, even when I come home from work, whether I'm tired or not, I still need to make sure that there's like a 3 or 4 course meal prepared. You know, I mean, I'm just saying that it's just all of these different things, whether it be from my parents, siblings, you know, co-workers, whoever. Everyone has an idea, which sometimes is easy to kind of get caught up in that. You know, but that's why I really like the fact that you said, let it flow, you know, and you guys are just learning as you go along, learning out what works for you and what doesn't work for you guys.
Exactly. It's by no means perfect. You know, I still have to have some choice curse words, and I'm learning how not to curse nobody out, but but sometimes I do, you know, so, but it's been less often than more, you know, so, that's something that I actually have been learning is actually how not to be so upset, or how to be angry in the right way. You know, I posted something on Facebook about what's one of the most important things in a successful relationship. People said communication. They said freedom to be myself. They said boundaries. One said forgiveness, which I thought was beautiful. And another one said was, along with the forgiveness, was when you get angry, then really think about some of the things that you actually like about that person. You know, what has that person done good for you today? You know, 3 things that kind of bring you down, you know, to a working level, you know, not that angry level, but the working level. And I thought all of those answers were beautiful. They were all individual for those people, you know, but they are also things that we can actually think about. Well, what is important to me personally that would make a successful relationship or a successful union? And the one thing I have to say that I think one of the things that we don't really think about is how we want to feel A lot of times, when we look at perceptions, we're taught what a successful man looks like. He's got this kind of job, this kind of car. He's got this kind of place to live. He's doing all this kind of stuff, his muscles, all, tall, dark, and handsome, all these things that makes a quality man. But really, how do you want to feel? Does this quality man allow you to feel the way that you want to feel? Is he helping you to reach that epitome of how you want to feel, or is he just bringing home the bacon and nothing else? You know what I mean? So I think that's the starting point when you are looking into trying to allow things to flow. Jackie, it's really hard because we're not used to that. But if you start with how it is that you want to feel, that's going to always be your guiding point. It's going to always be what the outcome that you're striving for is, to feel in that particular way, that the way you want to feel. And then the package just kind of opens up to who this person is. It's like this. Sometimes we overlook some of the people that we have been told aren't desirables, because of what society says, where a man is supposed to look like and be and doing all that kind of stuff. But I find that if we're looking at the feel good factor, then, and also taking into consideration what our right now factor is right now, like what are we needing right now, as opposed to, I remember, I think it was Iyanla Vanzant years and years ago, I think in a book she had, I'm not sure, but she said, not everybody is in your life forever. Some of them are in your life for a reason, for a season, for, learning experiences and everything. But as women, we're taught that we got to be the one. Yeah, if he's, the one, it's the one. We've been, taught that forever. It's from day one. But what if the relationship isn't about being that one and it's going to be your forever relationship? What if it's about something that you're needing right now in your life? And we don't really look at that because that's just not what we're taught to do, And I understand, you don't want to be hopping from relationship to relationship, but that doesn't mean that you have to actually be doing like intimate things in that particular relationship, but it can be a learning experience. And right now, whether this relationship I'm in lasts the test of time, I'm actually learning so much. So whether right now, this is my right now relationship, I don't know what's going to be tomorrow or next year or 5 years, next week, I have no clue. But right now when it's your right now relationship, it allows you to live right there in the present and enjoy that freaking moment.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's so freaking hard to do, but
you know what? And I think sometimes we as women, we get caught up in, well, what's going to happen next? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so we're going to get ready to move in. Did I meet your I meet his parents? He said his sister, he's really close with his sister. Did you meet the sister girl? Okay, well, if he ain't taking you to no family gatherings, then, or did you meet his kids? You know what I mean? We get so, and I know I do it, still do it. Like you said, I get caught up in what's going to happen later on down the line, to the point where you're not even really enjoying yourself in the present, or like you say, the present day relationship. Yes. And then, I didn't want to cut you off, so I was trying to take down a few notes.
No,
but I like that about the letting go. Sometimes we get into, like you said, with a woman, it's more of a stigma associated with jumping out of a relationship, right? And I think society tells us as women, we just supposed to just like be ride or die. We just, and me and my husband just talked about this the other day. What? And we're supposed to be in it to win it. You know what I mean? And don't even throw religion in there.
Ooh, girl.
Right? Am I right? It's the type of thing of, I'm supposed to stand by this man, thick or thin, and I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what you said in terms of every relationship, or just, it doesn't necessarily mean it's to last a lifetime.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes you might be so busy holding on to that, or even sometimes holding on to that idea.
Right.
On paper, this guy looks good, because I've been there. On paper, he looks good. He's educated. I like taking him around my friends. Sometimes you might have a boyfriend, you like, we're going to go out now, but just don't say nothing. Just keep your mouth closed. You know what I mean? Believe me, honey, I done a lot of dating. I've been there, done that. Like, just don't say nothing, okay?
Right.
But they seem perfect on paper. But like you said, you get into the feelings, how they make you feel.
How they make you feel.
You know, like I know for me, and this is, this is something that's hard for me to share because I feel that society may view me as being selfish, or just I'll say it and maybe you can chime in.
Okay.
But when I think about how I want to feel in a relationship, and I'm lowering my voice a little bit because I'm hearing this echo, I want to be adored, and I think a lot of times, a lot of women don't feel comfortable saying that. And you know why, I believe? Because of self-esteem, right?
Let me tell you, I agree with you 110%. Okay. Adored is your word. Well,
that's
mine
my
is
word.
Cherished. Yeah. I want to feel cherished.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty much along the same lines, adored and cherished. And the way I want to feel cherished or adored may be different than what that means to you or looks like to you. But then we have, and I don't want to make this into, a bunch of punching, women this and we do this and men do that, but society as a whole tells us what adored and cherished is supposed to look like. So when you come with your own idea of what cherished looks like, I'm Muslim. So a lot of what people know that in Islam, a lot of the wives, they stay home. Some of the some of the Islamic factions, they practice polygamy where the husband has more than one wife. Some of there's a lot of different stigmas that go on in Islam. Some of them are cultural and not Islamic at all. They're just cultural. But when you think about some of those things, especially when I have friends who are in polygamous marriages, and when people, who say, I don't never want to do anything like that. And, but these women do. So they feel cherished in this way. And you can't tell them that they don't. Maybe it's not for you, but it is for them. Or even staying at home, being a housewife and taking care of the kids in the house or whatever. Maybe that's what they want. That's what they want. So why are you telling them they need to go out and work if that's not what they want? Because that's something that you want. Once again, as you said, and I totally agree, we always are given our advice and our opinions based off of what it is that we desire, what we want, what our experiences have been, what we've been taught, and we're putting that on other people when, can we just listen for a second and not going to say not judge. We all judge. That's not going away. Sometimes we judge and we don't say anything, but we're still judging. Ooh, what kind of shirt, what kind of sweaters that she got on? Or ooh, I know where she got that sweater from. Just any kind of way, but it's still going to be a judgment. But to understand and to try to take it to heart that it's okay for that person to want what they want.
Yeah. And for you to want what you want.
And for me to want what I want. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've realized in this whole aspect of soul connections is this thing that I call CASE. Like, what's your CASE? Your CASE, which is it stands for creating actionable steps every day. Creating actionable steps every day. And what that is that once you figure out what exactly it is that you're wanting and what you're desiring, how you're wanting to feel in a relationship, you actually get in your calendar or whatever it is, your iPad, whatever it is, and kind of looking at what you can start doing to kind of bring that into your realm. And that to me goes back to the self-esteem. What are you doing to make yourself feel good? What are you doing to prop your own self up and not looking for other people to do that? And who is around you that's keeping you from, doing that? What are your circles? Do you need to let some of those people go? Do you need to bring some other people in? Where do you need to stop hanging out over here? Do you need to go over here? Do you need to get out more? Do you need to stay in more? I mean, whatever the case is actually taking those actionable steps every day, just a little bit, baby steps, nothing big. They don't have to be anything huge, but just taking those steps to make sure that you're going forward towards reaching your goal, which is how you want to feel.
How you want to feel. And, kind of piggybacking again off of what you said in reference to self-esteem, it's all about understanding, first of all, knowing how you want to be treated, right? Knowing how you want to be treated. Because, again, knowing what I know now, there are some things that I accepted from men that I dated, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, hung out with, just kicking it, that I would never accept today.
Right.
Never. And again, it's because I have taken the time to strengthen or rebuild my self-esteem. So I have a very clear idea of what I want in a relationship and what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. Right. And that it's okay if this person that I've been dating for 6 months, it's okay if we are not right for one another, because don't get into the limited thinking that this is it, that there is no one else out there, because I think that happens a lot of times.
It does.
Women staying in a relationship has a direct bearing on their value, whether or not they value themselves. And if you don't value yourself, right, you have a tendency to say, oh, I'm just going to stick with this. Right. Or maybe this is all I deserve. I'm just going to make the best of this. Right. Or there's no one else out there for me. Nobody else is going to want me. And sometimes people might say, oh, I don't stay with nobody because of that, but it may be unconscious. And maybe if you really think about it, and like I just said, if you don't like the way you feel when you guys get behind closed doors, then that's not a good relationship for you, right. And it's okay to let go of it. And even if it takes time to look and do some self-reflection, some journaling, whatever you do to be able to be more in tune with what you want and what's important to you and where you're going in life. It's okay to step back and get that clarity, and that will help you get stronger. You can work on yourself. And then at that point, you'll know more of what you want, what you're willing to accept, what you're not going to accept. And oh God, I just lost my train of thought. What you're willing to accept. It'll come back to me.
I hate it when that happens.
It's okay to step back and just to think and to really figure out what it is and what's important to you, right. And not just dive into the first thing because, I don't know, maybe your clock is ticking. Some women desperately want to have children and they're not in a relationship.
Right.
I learned but you go ahead.
I listened to this lady named Esther Perel. I want you guys to write that down. Esther Perel. I think her name is spelled like Esther, but she pronounces it Esther, Esther. Perel, how do you spell that? Pearell. I'm not sure, but she's a relationship person. She's on YouTube.
Okay.
She talks a lot about cheating. She talks about what relationships, the inner workings of relationships, for men and women. But a lot of the things that she said really, really made me stop and think about how I show up in a relationship. And this one thing that she says is that, and this is so, it's so intricate to me. It's just so interesting to me. When I say this, I think you guys it's going to make you all think too. Okay. So listen to this, y'all. Okay. All right. So this is what she said. She says that, of course, as I said before, we all bank on that one. When a man asks to marry us, then we feel like we've been chosen. Oh, out of all these people, we've been chosen. We're the one. We're the one. And then so it starts to be intertwined with your self-esteem. I'm the one. I'm the one. And then when someone divorces you, then it's like, it's like, oh no, I'm no longer the one. I'm not. I'm no longer the one. And that really got me to really just thinking about how we look at relationships, how we look at life. But of course, all the different the different things that people have told us. Now, in that same aspect, she was saying that we look at that one person, and if you think about the communities that we've come from, especially as African Americans, we came from villages, right? We came from communities, I should say. And you look at this one person, and now you take this one person and you give him the role of everybody in the village. He's your everything, right? He's your everything. He chose you. He's everything. And then when you divorce, it's just like, oh my gosh, I think that's kind of crazy, honestly, that we would take that one person and make him our everything and put that on. That's a tall order for one person to be your everything. And but that's something that we've also been taught. He's supposed to be your best friend. He's supposed to be your lover. He's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be that. He's supposed to be everything. That's a lot of pressure on one person. I mean, same thing for us too. You know, we ain't your mama. You know, you're trying to make us your mama too. You know, everything. That's a lot of pressure on that one person. And I feel like understanding that the community is a big aspect of a relationship of life, period. That if you think about not making that person your everything, then that really would take a lot of weight off of the relationship. I mean, I see you, Jackie. You be over there exercising. I did go walking this morning and exercising, by the way. So I just want to let you know that. So dang, Jackie, she get on my daggone nerves.
She always getting in the pool on that elliptical.
Always trying to encourage somebody to exercise. She make me sick, but I got out there. I and I did it. And I feel great. I feel good, you know. So I'm not gonna mess with you on that. But I mean, your husband ain't there. I mean, if he is, I don't see him in the videos. I mean, you know what I mean. So it's just like you have your thing. You know, he's not sitting next to you right here in the video. You have your thing. You're not making him your everything. You don't have to go to him for your everything. But not only that, but because you have built your self-esteem, you wouldn't come to him for everything anyway, because he's not going to be able to give you everything. So it just, to me, when and I love everything that she says. I've never found anyone ever that can articulate what it was I felt inside and what I thought about relationships until I saw her on the video. You guys got to watch it. You all may not agree. You have to check her out. And I love to hear what you all think about her. You all may not agree with her concepts and her strategies and what she says, but I do. I can totally see that for myself. So anyway, but I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was interesting as I watched Chris Rock's Netflix comedy stand up yesterday. He was talking about being of service in a relationship. And that's what you need to be focused on, being of service to that person. And that person needs to be focused on being in service to exactly. And it all just kind of just one thought kind of just went to the other. And from Chris Rock to Esther to, you know, everything. It's just like, oh my goodness, all these things kind of are coming. They're just like showing up and it's all in alignment. It's just like, I get that. Oh my God, I get that.
And you know what? I think a lot of women, you know, being in the profession that I am, for those of you that don't know, I'm a social worker. And I come across a lot of women, whether it be professionally, women in my family, coworkers, you know, whichever. And I like the way you brought up that point about being chosen. I think a lot of a woman's self-esteem is derived from, I'm Mrs. So-and-so, and look at this ring he gave you. See how big it is? You know, and it makes them, it makes them feel good. Like you said, because they've been chosen, you know. So if you take, and that's all great. If you're chosen and you have a healthy relationship and maybe y'all really do have a special connection. But on the flip side of that, I think a lot of women go into like a depression because of the fact that they haven't been chosen. Or they're someone, they find out that they're like a side piece or side chick. Or God forbid, you date this guy for all this time and maybe you guys run in the same circle and you come to find out he proposes to someone. It's like, wow, all this time I thought he wasn't the marrying type. He just didn't want to marry me. You know, so I'm just saying it's just a whole lot that goes around that. And a woman's self-esteem, which brings me to the second point, which is why I think is so important. Of course, I think I'm not proclaiming to be any sort of a love guru at all.
Me either, y'all.
Okay, not saying that. But I think it's very important to still know who you are. And I think some of the other listeners out there, I'm sure that we've all come across women who, once they get in a relationship, they forget everything. You know, they no longer have their own identity. They don't even have brunch with the girls once a month. They don't call their girlfriends. I mean, everything becomes focused on this mate. You know, and so I think it's very important to know who you are and to still be a person. You know, it doesn't mean you can't have a strong union. In order to have a strong union doesn't mean I don't know, I don't know who I am, or I don't work out anymore.
Right.
You know, I don't go to my African dance classes no more. You know, now I love I try to get my husband in my classes as often as I can.
Right.
He doesn't like going. He'll go every now and again.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I don't go to my classes, or I love to roller skate.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want to set foot in no skating rink. So, okay. I'll text
See
you
you
when
later.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
When I'm leaving the rink. Okay, so you know I'm on my way home.
Right.
You know, so, and that works for me. You know, but that's something that when I do work with clients, I think that that's a part of having a healthy self-esteem.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it
So I
is.
think it's all tied together.
It does. It really does. It's like
Yeah.
that one doesn't work without the other, but you
Mhm.
still can take baby steps in if you get one together, then the other ones are going to show up as well to be
Mhm.
for you. So just taking those baby steps, I think, are uber important.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Wow. Well, guys, we're gonna have to wrap up. So sorry again for the technical difficulties, guys. I know we started late. Please, you know, I don't think anyone left any comments, or maybe I don't think so. But this was fun, though. I enjoyed
This
it.
was extremely fun. I really enjoyed this. We have to do this again.
Definitely, definitely. And thank you for those that have checked it out, and hope you found it helpful. And yeah. So any closing thoughts for you, Miss Aja?
Well, I want to say that actually, at the beginning of the month, I actually did what I call a Wild Soul session on this very topic. It's 3 days of videos and also worksheets, and that's over on my Patreon page at the $15 level. If you all are interested in getting the videos and the worksheets, then please go ahead and become a member. That's Aja M. Bansika over on Patreon. Now, what the $15 level gets you, it gets you access to all of the Wild Soul sessions. This one in February, the one in January, and then the one, actually, I think there's one in December as well. So you don't just get the one, you get them for the previous months as well. And if you continue to subscribe at the $15 level, then you get the ones that's going to be for the next months, going through the end of the year. I'm going to be doing these Wild Soul sessions every month for 3 days. And last month it was about your money, honey. This month it was about soul connections. And so next month, I can't remember what it's going to be about, but every month it's about a different section in your wheelhouse to help you kind of get straight and get clear on what your soul is calling you to create in your life. So, and that once again goes back to how you want to feel. So I invite you all to hop on over to my Patreon page, and I'll leave the link in the comment section so that you guys can get to it and get your soul on.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much.
Okay.
This has been so awesome. I thank you for having me on.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Everybody have a good evening, and tune in again on Saturday. I'm sorry, I didn't have the schedule right up in front of me, but tune in on Saturday, the 17th at 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Miss Jasmine Moore, the self-driven self-love guru. Sunday, February the 18th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Ivanye. I believe it's
Ebony.
how you pronounce her name.
Ebony.
Mm-hmm. And I
said the same thing too, but it's
Ebony. Miss Lawson, teacher of self-mastery, and she's a licensed professional counselor, guys. And then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is going to be Lanita Cornett. She's a life and transformational strategist, author, and mentor. And then ending it on Sunday, February the 18th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Miss Tammy Morrison, the Intuitive Empowerment Diva. All right, so thanks again, everyone. Have a good night. I hope to see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.